picture before looking at the smoke. 'Cause if you can't see the forest for the trees, then you're not really seeing at all. And before you do anything, good to know how it's done. Work from a pattern to the details, Mal.
The conversation about the flow and how you would design the structure of the PTC is going to continue, because we're moving on to microteaching number 5, where in groups we'll be designing that and deciding that. So I think, yeah, let's move on.
Cool. So in addition to the individual micro-teachings that you'll be thinking about, we have a group project that runs through the course, similar to the group project in a PTC. So there is time, this time of the day, each day, meet up with your group, have a chat about it. Yeah, I'll do it this way. For today, there's a few tasks, and we'll go through what your group can talk about today, and then we'll get into the groups and you can just go for it. So once you're in your groups, if you're like, I've got things to do, I need to prep for my micro-teaching tomorrow, whatever, agree with your group, okay, we'll do 10 minutes on this or 20, or we'll meet up at dinner time and sit and eat dinner together and have a chat. Do what you need to do. Today in your groups, you will think up a group name. You will discuss your past experience in groups. Was it terrible? Are you really great in groups? Were you in the leader role? Did you feel comfortable about that or not? What's your past group experience? Then you'll talk about your learning styles in your group and what you can offer your group. What's your learning style and what's useful that you bring to your group? The final thing, if you get time, is a group agreement or a group code. And that's really the foundation to having a group that functions. Remember, this is our preemptive conflict resolution strategy, conflict avoidance strategy. And you're very welcome to borrow the class code that we made yesterday and adapt it for your group. Doesn't have to be a really lengthy exercise. So I've got those 4 things to focus on today.
So what's the purpose of getting these details?
It's to build your group, and it's a proactive conflict resolution strategy. So we're setting up a strong foundation in our group, knowing that we'll then be working forward, making decisions about this project. So each day we'll have time in our group, and the project we're working towards...
That's what we're all waiting for. Our group norms might change depending on the project. Tell us.
It's really fun and exciting. I'm going to tell you. It's you're creating together a PTC outline, a PTC syllabus or curriculum. So some of you may be less passionate than others about teaching a PTC. That's okay. We're doing this as a group. So in future days, you'll be thinking about, who is this for? What are the core topics? What's the context around this? Today, you don't need to really think about that, but the syllabus exercise is to get us really thinking about PTCs in this day and age, what's going to be really useful as far as using our skills as educators, as facilitators, as teachers to make real change in this world, because that's why we're all here, right? That's why PTCs are so great, yeah? And this is the power that we all have coming out of this course. That's what you'll be working towards. And the final presentation is fun and amazing, and you'll hear a little bit more about that tomorrow. So to get into our groups, please take one, pass it on. Now, don't show anybody your piece of paper. It is top secret information. You can look at it and then hide it away. Pickles is not happy with hers. You will take this to the grave.
I'll have lost it by then.
Eat it if you like. So for those who have paper, on your paper is a picture of a being. And just silently for now, we're just connecting with that being. Really feeling its energy. Really channeling its spirit. Okay, we're all good. Wayne, one left.
We must be missing someone.
Oh yeah,
Right,
we are.
We are.
Yeah. Channeling its spirit. And I would invite you, in the spirit of that animal, without using English words, to please find your kin and move on to cover the group tasks for this afternoon. Off you go.
Where shall we wander off to? Yeah, come on, off you go. Wander off. I'm just gonna sit here. Alright, where should we go?
Okay, group work. So this evening in our groups, this afternoon, we're going to continue on. Some groups have chosen all their PDC topics and started putting them in an order. Some are a little behind that and still choosing their topics. So choose your topics, get that done. If you need to do it efficiently, think up a process to help make that efficient. Lay them out there. Our topics are for our student, our learners, our audience, remembering that. Get them down into an order. And then we're going to think about how, on the final day, you'll be showing your syllabus, your timetable, your outline, your curriculum. What are some ways we've seen it before, Ray?
I've seen a skeleton with the head was the heart was the ethics and the head was the principles, and all the strategies hang off the arms and legs. I've seen a guru come and sit there and deliver the course while all the adherents sat at the feet and played out the various parts. I've seen a television screen come on. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to present something absolutely brilliant. This is a new television program called Permaculture for the masses, and it's a whole course to help you restore the earth. And then different people would appear. One of the best I saw was in India, where they took on the Indian gods. So who's the big, heavy Indian god? What's his name? Vishnu.
Brahma.
Who? Brahma. So Brahma said, I've given these humans the earth, and he's addressing all his minor gods. I gave the humans the earth. The humans are stuffing it up, and all you gods, it's your fault, because you're supposed to be administering those humans on earth, and you've messed it up. So now you go away and you invent something else and then take it back to the humans so they restore the earth. And we had Vishnu and Shiva and Deva and someone, and they all had to report back how and why what they came up with was going to restore the earth. And that was a PDC. What have you seen, Brenna?
I've seen a train.
Oh, yes.
A train, and different PDC topics would jump on to the train to form the whole PDC, and as they jumped on, they'd explain what was going to happen in that topic. We saw in November in Wollongong a Monopoly board drawn on the floor, and each square was a different PDC topic, and as the players moved through, they had to, instead of going to jail, they'd go to monoculture land or something, just trapped there until they rolled 2 sixes, and the die were made out of milk cartons. We've seen a musical. We've seen David Attenborough impersonations. We've seen Rowe impersonations. What have you seen, Greta?
Hilarious.
I've seen a Joanna Macy inspired deep ecology workshop of animals from the forest who were trying to think of a way to re-educate humans who were chopping down all of the trees in the Megalong Valley. And I've also, in a similar vein, seen a whole ecosystem of pollinators in protest about people mowing lawns and mowing down all the flowers, decide that they're going to have a re-education program for children and bring children in, and it was a bit of a musical as well, lots of singing and I've seen a sort of like a Danos Direct commercial to sell the PDC.
So it doesn't relate to the target audience?
It actually was, that one was, because their PDC was pitched to tech executives, CEOs of big...
Yes, I've seen it.
But my question is, it doesn't have to be related to the target audience?
They were all actually related to their target audience. The pollinators was a PDC for kids. It was going to be after school. Were yours related to the audience?
I don't know if the monks in Wollongong described it all that much, but it was hilarious watching these 4 people all dressed with black shopping bags as nun habits and a bit of butcher's paper over here. Creatively use and respond to change. The whole thing, don't you?
Yeah, and I've just seen a film, like a big film poster about the concrete jungle, and it was a permaculture design course for people living in an urban setting. Yeah.
How long?
Yeah. So your group, you have half an hour per group. It's a creative exercise, so this is an opportunity as a group to use the learning that you've been doing in this course. Think outside the box, and it's really helping us to step outside of the norm, which is a teaching skill that helps us to adapt. So we're really focusing on communicating our PDC outline in a creative way. And there's also time, a short amount of time at the end that you'll leave to communicate your group process. And you can do that creatively as well. Doesn't have to be a huge part of it, but we'd love to hear its presence.
Yeah. It usually goes like this. Well, on the first day we sat down and we didn't know what we were doing. So one wandered off to go to the toilet, and someone else said, I've got a phone call, and in 2 minutes the group wasn't there. Next day we sat down and thought we'd better get it together, but then someone had to do micro-teaching, and then we got cross with so-and-so who something. Third day we're starting to get worried. I've had a group start to prepare theirs at 10 to 12 the night before. And then they've done it in 3 to 4 hours. It's come good. That is risk-taking and precipitous, but it's been good. So we cannot say exactly it's terrific if you've got your topic sorted now, but you can be as creative as you like, and tomorrow we would like to see a little more creativity without taking it off the scale in terms of materials and questions and interests, but still sticking with the core topics. But you'll all laugh when you hear each other's processes. You know, what might have been upsetting to you then becomes hilarious when you see it someone else's as well. You look very serious. Yeah.
Questions?
Two.
Skeleton with principles, ethics and strategies, but everything else I've heard says we're just choosing the topics in order. Please clarify.
So was the skeleton a PDC outline, or was it a part of a PDC outline?
It was a PDC outline, and they'd say, well, we're in the heart cavity, we're the ethics, we're the principles, we're here. And then the fingers were all the techniques, and they provided various bits and pieces, like making compost or using an A-frame or something. It was highly imaginative and quite good, but there are 1,000 ways to present it.
So how much of the 72 hours do we need to include in the presentation?
All of them and a bit more.
Right.
So my question is, are we naming the topic?
Yes.
Or are we saying how we will teach, the strategies we will use to teach each of?
You have to name your topics for us to understand the flow.
Yep.
So if you want to teach water as the last topic, it will be justified through your structure and flow. If you want to put water in the middle or water at the top or plants somewhere else, it needs to justify structure and flow.
So for today, we're getting our topics and we're getting them in order and we're feeling happy with that. And in the back of our minds, we're thinking over what's a crazy way we're going to present this. And then tomorrow you'll have time to really dive into that.
Yeah. And props, you can use props.
Our group's chosen really quite a serious audience. I'm wondering how we're going to adapt something that needs a lot of consideration for people's life situation in a state of change.
I've got some ideas.
It'll be okay.
Yeah. Creatively doesn't necessarily mean funny. It's just that we're looking for some kind of presentation that's not for people standing in front of a whiteboard.
With a timetable. Day 1, day 2, 4 topics, something, just more flowing thing.
Great question.
Sounds like fun?
Yes.
Yeah, isn't it?
Questions about tomorrow or this evening?
What are we doing?
So tomorrow each group will have half an hour to present their PDC, and within that half an hour, about 5 minutes of that will be presenting your group process, and you'll present both of those things in a creative way, thinking outside the box. We'll take the first 2 sessions to do this. We'll have a break sometime after the second or third group's gone. Similar time frame to what we saw this afternoon. There's 4 groups, half an hour each. Any other questions?
So you say the first 2 sessions tomorrow?
Yeah.
So we start at 8:30 doing this?
Yeah.
Where are we doing it?
Where are we doing it?
Would you like to do it in here? Because it's quite a nice space, would you think?
I'd have trouble sitting on the floor for that one. But we could bring chairs.
Yeah.
Just to clarify with the presentation tomorrow, do we need to make sure that every PDC topic that we're choosing to do is run through in order in some creative fashion, or is it the vibe, or is it, do we need to show which topics in which order we've done it over that period? Does that make sense?
Yeah, we'd like to hear topics and we'd like to get an understanding of where they sit in the PDC.
Yeah.
So, yes.
In a way, you should be able to justify it.
Yes.
You won't be saying all the time we put this here because, but at times you will. We thought it's really important to bring this up to here or put that there or have these flow. So that will come into what you were doing, regardless of how you present the whole plane of it, so to speak.
So the aim is that the viewer gains an understanding of what your PDC, what makes it unique, what makes it special and interesting.
If you can give yourselves a name, have you done that? Yeah. All right. And then you'll introduce your team. You're aware of that. Just introduce. We were so and so and so and so and so and so. Okay, good. It doesn't sound as if we're going to be there. The chairs are better over there. Is that?
If we can bring a few chairs, Jeff's saying please. That's a pretty convincing argument.
Chairs.
Yeah.
Who's been the real force behind this PDC? Who's been the controlling power behind the throne? So it's over there.
It's over there. That's a good reason.
All right, so there we go. What would you like to say, Amy?
Shit.